Hi, Gerardo Perez here with GP Accounting and Tax Services, coming to you from our office in Hayward, California. So this is the third video of the tax season. I do understand a lot of this information could be bland or dry, but that's just the nature of the industry, so hang in there. I'm here to walk you through the entire tax return. So today we'll be going over the exemption portion of the U.S. 1040 individual income tax return, so that's line 6. We'll also be covering the standard deduction amount that you receive based on the filing status you select. So if you need a little more information on which filing status to select, feel free to watch my prior video. So just jumping right into it, the standard deduction amount you receive for when you select the single filing status is $6,300. And when you select the married filing jointly filing status, you receive a $12,600 deduction. And the reason it's $12,600 is because you receive $6,300 for yourself and $6,300 for your spouse. So combined, it's $12,600. Next, it's the head of household filing status. So if you select the head of household filing status, you can go ahead and, or you receive, I should say, a $9,300 standard deduction to offset your taxable income. Jumping down to the personal exemption amount, so you receive a personal exemption amount for yourself and your spouse, and that amount is $4,050. So in total, you receive a $10,350 offset to your taxable income if you're single. So the way that's calculated is $6,300 plus the $4,050 equals $10,350. You go ahead and minus that from your adjusted gross income, and that arrives at your potential taxable income. So you get to offset your taxable income by these amounts here. The next item we're going over is the dependency exemption amount. So you also receive a $4,050 exemption for any dependent you claim on your tax return. So in order to claim a dependent on your tax return, they have to fall under one of two categories. So the first category is qualifying child. The second category is a qualifying relative. So in order to be considered a qualifying child, there's a few requirements that you have to meet. The first is a close relative test. So you have to be a son, daughter, stepson, stepdaughter, brother, sister, stepbrother, stepsister, or a descendant of any of these. Then that is one criteria that you have to meet to be a qualifying child. The next criteria is the age limit test. So in general, the child must be younger than the taxpayer and under age 19 or age 24 if the child is a student. Third is a residency test. So your child has to live with you for more than half the year to be considered a qualifying child. And the last is a joint return test. So the child cannot file a joint return for the tax year unless the child and the child's spouse do not have a separate filing requirement and file the joint return only to claim a refund. So pretty much, if you're married and you file a joint return, you can be claimed as a dependent only if the reason you're filing that return is to claim a refund for taxes paid in 2016. So those are the items or the criteria I should say, that you have to meet to be considered a qualifying child. Next is qualifying relative. So there's a support test to be considered a qualifying relative. So the taxpayer has to support the dependent more than 50% for the entire year. So all of his costs, food, rent, all of those items, the taxpayer has to take care of over 50% in order to be considered or meet that criteria of a qualifying relative. The next is under a specific amount of taxable gross income. So what that means is that the person or qualifying relative that you're considering claiming as a dependent can't make more than $4,050, which is this personal exemption amount right here. Okay? Third is the precludes dependent filing a joint return. So again, it's similar to the qualifying child joint return item. So if you file a joint return and you're married, the only reason you can file a joint return is to claim a refund for taxes paid in 2016. So you can be claimed as a dependent if you are married, but not if you file a joint return for other reasons besides claiming a refund for taxes paid in 2016. The next is the only citizens test. So in order to be considered a qualifying relative, you have to be a citizen of Canada, Mexico, or the United States. Next is a relative test. So again, this is similar to the close relative test for the qualifying child, portion. But this just states that you have to be a child, a grandchild, a parent, grandparent, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, niece, or nephew. So if you're one of those, then you can be considered a qualified relative. But just to be clear, you have to meet all of these criteria to be considered a qualified child or qualified relative. And the last is a taxpayer lives with the individual for the whole year test. So if you're not a relative of the taxpayer, but you do in fact live with the taxpayer for the entire year, and they support you more than 50%, then you can also be claimed as a dependent. So my name is Gerardo Perez. That's going to be the video for today. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Feel free to reach out to me here at gerardo.perez@gpaccountingandtax.com. Also refer to www.gpaccountingandtax.com. That's my website. Feel free to go ahead and browse around, look at it and whatnot. I'll also be posting my notes in the blog section of my website. So if you need a little more detailed information, I'll be publishing my notes here. Have a great night. I look forward to seeing you Wednesday and talk to you soon. Bye.